Chapter 12. Earthquake. Luo Ning had a sudden realization and shouted from her position on the stone wall. Comrade Hu, the glory bullet. It struck everyone at once. We still had one last grenade, and used and kept secure on the big guy's belt. The standard issue wooden handle grenades made in China were waterproof, and soldiers stationed at Qinghai Lake occasionally used them for fishing in the lake. So even though we all ended up in the water, the grenade should not have been damaged. Luo Ning's reminder was crucial at that moment. The big guy pulled out the grenade and shouted, "Who catch?" tossing it towards me from above. I quickly put the bayonet between my teeth, caught the grenade with my right hand, slipped off the safety cap with my thumb, spat out the bayonet, bit onto the ring, and ignited the fuse of the grenade, which immediately began hissing with white smoke. Aiming carefully, I threw the grenade right into the gaping mouth of the tyrant salamander. The creature, unaware of what a grenade was, saw a dark object flying towards it and engulfed it reflexively with its tongue. Boom! A muffled explosion echoed as the grenade detonated inside its mouth. Despite the tough exterior skin, the flesh inside its mouth was soft. The blast blew its head apart from the inside out, and the creature fell down the cliff to lie motionless, belly up, on the riverside rocks. I exhaled with relief, drenched in cold sweat. I hadn't felt fear in the moment of crisis, but now my limbs felt weak and a wave of dizziness washed over me as I looked down. Suddenly, the cliff started shaking violently, and the river level surged. The air was filled with the smell of sulfur, as waves of heat rose from below. An underground volcano became active without warning, almost causing us to fall. Scrambling to a more gradual slope, we collapsed to sit and catch our breath, still in shock. But as the ground continued to shake more intensely, the possibility of a collapse on the volcano rock-built cliffside loomed. Luo Ning expressed that volcanic eruptions were not necessarily imminent. She assessed that it was just the volcano entering a phase of periodic activity, but such periods were unpredictable, ranging from days to even millennia. Volcanoes come in many types. The common trumpet chimney-shaped ones we see are formed after massive eruptions, while some dormant for tens of thousands of years may never erupt, lying deep underground only to occasionally tremble. Regardless of its activity cycle, we were certainly unlucky to have encountered it. We had wanted to follow the underground river to find an exit, but with the river boiling from the volcanic activity, going in would have turned us into dumplings in a pot. As we reached a dead end, Gawa tugged at my clothes, pointing upward. Several hundred meters above our heads appeared a slender beam of white light, causing my eyes to blur and sting. What was that above? Could it be another extinct creature? Luo Ning, filled with astonishment and joy, cried out, "It's the sky! The sky!" The underground volcanic activity had triggered an earthquake, cracking open a crevice in the earth above us. It had been so long since we saw the outside sky that I nearly forgot what it looked like. Was it blue or white? I encouraged the others, "Comrades, fortune favors the bold. Perseverance leads to victory. For New China, let's move forward." The four of us, already exhausted, felt a sudden surge of strength upon seeing the hope of escape. We rallied our energy and started climbing the slope fiercely. The rumbling and trembling worsened below, the heat intensified, and the pungent sulfur smell left our heads throbbing. Fearful that the crevice might close again from further tremors, we scrambled up the 45-degree steep incline as if sprinting 100 meters. The higher we climbed, the more crumbled the volcanic rock became. Some were like sand, making it hard to find a foothold. We would climb up 3 meters only to slide back 2. Despite losing skin on our hands and the pain it caused, we gritted our teeth and clawed our way up. The 500 to 600 meters of ascent were as grueling as the long march across snow-capped mountains. At last, after exhausting all our strength, we emerged on the surface, the blue sky and white clouds overhead with mountains stretching on both sides. We surfaced in a section of the Kunlun River Valley, one of the lowest altitudes on the Qinghai Plateau, only a few kilometers away from the unfrozen spring station of the first company. Luo Ning and Gawa, the latter injured, lagged behind towards the end. Without taking a moment's rest, the big guy and I quickly lashed together the carry belts from our gear, making a makeshift rope to lower to Luo Ning, allowing them to grab onto it. The earthquake was getting more violent, and the crevice over a meter wide could collapse at any moment. Luo Ning and Gawa could only cling tight to the straps. Affected by the underground shaking, they slipped back with every step, unable to climb even half an inch. The big guy and I exerted all our strength to pull them up, but even with significant force, it was impossible to haul them both up simultaneously. Gawa then let go of the strap and pushed Luo Ning up from below, and with our combined efforts, we managed to pull her up through the crevice. When I was about to toss the strap back down to rescue Gawa, a fierce tremor hit and the earth closed back, trapping Gawa alive in the middle. Amid the sub-zero temperatures, we had long lost our coats and hats, but we three forgot the cold, wearing only thin clothes, weeping as we futilely scraped at the ground's sand and stones with our hands and bayonets. 3 days later, I lay in a hospital bed in the military region hospital, with the chief of staff holding my hand, conveying his consolation warmly, "Comrade Hu, you've shown great courage this time. On behalf of the military commission, I extend their sympathies to you and hope for your rapid recovery so that you can continue to contribute to the revolutionary cause. How do you feel now?" I responded, "Thank you for your concern, sir. I'm still. I wanted to say well, but when I thought of the comrades forever departed from me, little Lin, Gawa, the political commissar, the squad leader, the word well was stifled in my chest, impossible to utter.